Welcome to the Fabulous at 50 podcast, where we are changing the aging narrative. I'm your host, Joanne Newduck, and I'm thrilled to bring you stories that matter and celebrate your place in the world. As an advocate for lifelong learning, health, and women's empowerment, I believe it's never too late to live the life you've always imagined. Through lively and informative interviews with inspiring guests, we'll explore a wide range of topics relevant to our global sisterhood of vibrant, inquiring women just like you. Join me for today's episode, and let's start changing the aging narrative together. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode where we are talking about all things female transformation with my guest, Dr.Sondra Joyce. And she is such a delight. She just kind of warms the world by her presence. She is a transformational women's circle leader. She's a retreat leader, and she's a personal coach. And Sondra, I'm so thrilled to have you on today's show. So welcome.
Thank you, Joanne. It's so great to see you, your beautiful self. And thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's so fun to reconnect because, let's just set the stage that you and I first met about 4 or 5 years ago or so, I think, at an event. We were both training and learning about masterminds. And you had this incredible, I think it was called Bliss by the Sea. You were having a retreat in January 2019, I believe it was. And you're like, you have to come. And I was like, okay. It was so fun. I knew nobody else there except for you. And we were in Tulum, Mexico. And I have to say, I don't think I've laughed as hard as we laughed. Because although it was a retreat, it was really fun because it's a small group. And it's not what you picture. Yeah. This is not like a yoga retreat or something. It was really kind of a tap into ourselves and really about self-care. And what I loved, it was kind of a cross between what I call a retreat and a really fun women's getaway.
Yeah. It was a little bit of both, and it was a bit different, but yes, the laughter was flowing like crazy, and we really did have a fun time, didn't we?
And absolutely. And laughter is such good medicine. It's really good medicine here. Yeah. So today, I love our conversations. Like sometimes I think when you and I are just chatting, I'm like, I should be recording this because this is perfect for the podcast because we get into just like all these different topics. But today we're specifically chatting, and we want to touch base on a few things. We want to touch base on what does it mean, like female or women's transformational circles. Like, what does all that mean? Because you've been working in this realm, shall we say, for quite some time now, and you have quite the lovely laundry list of credentials. Like, why don't we start off by just getting you to toot your own horn? Like, tell me a little bit about how did you get to be here? Because I know you've been doing real estate for a while, but then you also have just done so much with like family therapy and all sorts of things. So take it away. Tell us a bit about yourself there.
Okay. Well, I think, I was born with this attitude. I mean, my family always laughed at me. It was sort of like the first words out of her mouth weren't mama, mama. It was never say never.
I love it. That's so much you.
So I just have always had this, I don't know what, this energy, this energy that just wants to keep learning and growing and having all these different experiences. And when I was little, I had this thing I called my spark theory. And it was like, when I was small, maybe I was 7 or 8 or something like that, I said to my mom, I know why I'm here. I said, I'm supposed to gather all these sparks. And I said, and I know a spark when I see one because I can feel it. And as a little kid, I'd go into places and I'd say, there's a spark. That's not a spark. There's a spark. And to me at that time, it meant that there was some kind of energy that myself and this other person were connecting with.
Yeah. And I think, I want to say, I'm a spark, right? I'm one of your sparks.
You are one of my sparks, girl.
Awesome. Awesome. And you're definitely a spark in my life. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I started thinking about that I was supposed to gather all these sparks. Why? Why? Because they created energy and they
Mhm.
created fire and they
Mm.
created passion and laughter. And I'd much rather be with a spark person than someone that's not a spark. So I used to tell my mom about my spark people. So I think really early on, I had this sort of energy about what it means to keep growing and learning. And
Mhm.
so, probably my favorite word is transformation
Yeah.
because I love seeing something in more of a raw form. And I love seeing all the different energies and the love and the
Mhm.
care and the intention that can go into whatever it is, a person or an idea, and then see what comes out the other end. So it's kind of like the spiral energy, the sparks connect, there's a spiral energy. And what happens because of that energy is so much more powerful than what it was before. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but it's just like that's what brings me joy is, everything's fine as it is. People will say all is well. That's true. All is well, all is fine. And I think we're here on this planet to be all that we can be. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and so to me, that's really the crux of it is, and as women, oh my gosh, we have so much to give and so much to live, and we can just pull the lid off and really make some great changes within ourselves and really impact the entire world. I mean, that's where I'm living now
Absolutely.
is
I love
on
that
the
you said
global.
it. I love that you said it that way because one of the things that I often say about the Fab at 50 community, the
Yeah.
sisterhood, is that we have so much to give to each other in the world, right? We have
Mhm.
so much to share with each other in the world. And
Yes.
um, so I love this path. You're going down kind of how and why you got here. I'm going to take you back just a little bit on because I want to get into that. I want to get into like what things have you been doing for women, where you're going for that. But I'm a little bit curious because you mentioned about being a lifelong learner, right? And that's
Mhm.
we're definitely
Mhm.
kindred spirits on that. I'm always taking a course or doing something.
Oh, me too.
But set the background a bit. So
Oh,
you
okay.
you have, on the credential level, is
Okay.
sort of like
Sure.
what did you do? And then and that led you to the next and the next sort of
Okay. Okay.
thing.
Sure.
I'm just curious a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So when I was in college, I decided to become a social worker, as many women do. We go
Mhm,
to the helping professions of nursing and
mhm.
teaching and being a social worker. And I was working with abused kids in my early 20s, and it was
Mm.
really, really hard
Yeah.
and really sad. And I felt like the energy and the love that I was putting into these situations was not manifesting anything better. It's just because of
Mm,
lots of things, the system, whatever. So I
mhm,
got disillusioned with my career path, and massage therapy was just starting to come of age. I mean, this
mhm,
sounds funny to people, but there weren't any health food stores back then. And, hardly anybody had ever had a massage. It was all really new.
mhm.
And I found out about massage and I just was like, wow, talk about transformation. You can
Yeah.
take a body that's got all this stuff going on and turn it into like liquid gold. And so I went to the Boulder School of Massage Therapy. I graduated in 1979, so that really dates me, but that's good. I'm
That's
happy. I'm
okay.
I'm
That's
happy
okay.
that I'm
That's a lot of our
71.
listeners are in this same category.
Yeah. So and then so I became a massage therapist. I was the first massage therapist in Fort Collins, Colorado. They didn't know what to do with me. I couldn't get a business license because they wanted me to they didn't know what to do with me. So it sounds so
Wow.
bizarre, but they put me in under a prostitution thing because they didn't know what to do with me.
Oh,
And
that's
to this,
terrible.
I mean, it's just so bizarre. And then finally, things have changed a great deal. But so that whole thing about being a massage therapist, I turned it into something really big and powerful and wonderful. I had 13 employees at one time, and
Amazing.
People would come to us from all over. They called us the Sisters of the Healing Hands
Oh, amazing.
because,
I
yeah,
didn't know
so
this about you.
yeah, so we had
Like, I mean, I know some of your other stuff because you went
yeah.
from that and then went back to school.
Well, yeah. So I did massage and had this wonderful practice and traveled all over the world and worked for an organization called the Whole Health Institute at the same time I was a massage therapist.
Amazing.
So I was traveling all over the world and giving talks on health and healing back in the day when this was very, very new. So it was just
Yeah.
like we were birthing something so beautiful,
Yeah.
and started the Colorado Holistic Health Network with a friend of mine, Rick Tidrick.
Cool.
And so, I mean, again, this was in the late 70s, early 80s, I guess. It'd be the early 80s. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so that was a whole big thing. And so I did massage for many years. And then I was doing counseling and I was doing retreats. In fact, I got a message on Facebook today from a friend of mine, Kiri, who reminded me of a retreat we did 35 years ago in Mexico.
Wow. Right. 1988 then.
Yeah, called She Who Remembers. It was a long time ago. Anyway, so I've always done retreats. Because I just love, women getting together, especially in a setting in the tropics.
Mhm.
For me, that's where I like to do it.
Oh
But
yeah,
anyway, so
because I think I
yeah,
saw in your bio, and people can read Sondra's bio, but I think it's like you're a Colorado girl with a tropical heart or something
yeah,
along those
yeah.
lines. I love
Uh,
that. That's a great way to describe you.
because I love Colorado, but it's a little bit landlocked. There's no ocean here, so
Absolutely.
anyway, so yeah, I was doing counseling anyway with massage and stuff and doing classes and doing retreats, and then I decided to go back to school and got my master's in marriage and family therapy, and then I did all kinds of little variations on that. Got special training. I got trained in
Mhm.
something called pairs, which is a couples work that's really powerful, and it's been touted as probably the best. It stands for the practical application of interpersonal relationship skills. So it's very heady, but it's got this
Yeah.
wonderful set of tools. So I was a pairs facilitator, body centered psychotherapist with the Hendricks method, and just studied under a lot of people: David Snarsh, The Passionate Marriage, Dr. Bruce Fisher, When Your Relationship Ends. So a whole lot of stuff on relationships and health and healing. And, so that became that chapter, and
Hmm.
then I had a son really late in life, and I had been living a very charmed life, traveling all over the world and, working when I wanted to. And I had a kiddo, and it was like, okay. So
Put
I'd
on your
always bought and
big
sold
girl
real estate.
pants for this next chapter because it's going to take you for a wild ride.
Yeah. So anyway, so I decided to do something more traditional, I guess, and I became a realtor because I had bought and sold a lot of properties, and people always said, "Oh, I'd be a great realtor." I was like, "No, it's not spiritual enough." But anyway, so I did that in Durango, Colorado. And still am a realtor for the past 23 years. So
Oh,
that's
cool.
given me a grounded energy of working with people and using my
Mhm.
therapeutic skills and all that. And then during that time frame, I went back and got my Doctorate of Arts in coaching and counseling and a bunch of other certificates and stuff for coaching. So I've kind of been in both worlds. But as I'm moving along into my very prime and beautiful time of my life, I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah,
And I just love working with women. I'm really passionate about working with women and
absolutely.
helping women transform in whatever ways we can, and really making a difference in the world. So that's the
I'm
path.
blown away because a lot of that I think I've seen what you are, your credentials when it's kind of listed on a bio, but I haven't really heard your journey before. And I love that. And I want to put it in there like being you are such like a vibrant soul, and
Mm,
what you bring into the world. And it's all about, we talk about this podcast being, changing the aging narrative. You
mm.
are like a quintessential example of how we change the aging narrative. And I think one of the what I'm seeing as a trend is that the women I see that are just out there and loving life and giving back and enjoying being a lifelong learner is one of the
Yes.
biggest things. So, like, would that be if I said, how do you think people change the aging narrative
Mhm.
for themselves? Would you agree that's kind of one of the best ways?
It's so true, Joanne. It is so true. I mean, there's just so many. I sometimes pinch myself, but if somebody says they're bored, I'm like, uh,
How?
I don't know what that word means.
Don't you love it? Like, and this isn't about fun, but honestly, if you are listening and you use these words, stop it. I want you to come up with something better about what you're doing. Is when it'll be, I see someone and like, how you doing these days? What's up? What's new? And they're like, oh, same old, same old. And I'm like, if you are listening to this podcast and you have used the word same old, stop it. Just stop it. That's exactly it. Talk to this woman, talk to Sondra
Perfect.
Joyce,
Yeah.
or come and get more involved with Fab at 50. Join
Yeah.
our Fab Soul Circle so that you do have something new in your
Mm,
life. You do have that spark in your life. And
yes.
yeah, absolutely. So talking about circles and keeping
Yeah.
that spark in our life. Um,
Right.
Tell me a bit. I know that you have run retreats, you've done some coaching, you've run women's circles. Tell me a bit about what's on the horizon right now for you. What are
Well,
you
I'm so excited about this. There you go.
Yay,
So, I'll see. I don't know if I can show these books or not, but do you
maybe.
know Jean Shinoda Boland? She wrote "Goddesses in Every Woman." This is a book from many, many,
Okay,
many,
we're
many,
gonna
many.
read it out. I'm gonna describe it just because there's a lot of people who are just listening on audio, right?
Okay,
Like
yeah,
on the podcast platform, not
okay.
on YouTube. So hold it up again. It says
"Goddesses in Every Woman," and
goddesses in every woman. Oh, I love
yeah,
that.
yeah. And this book was written a long, long time ago, and she's a wonderful Jungian psychologist. I just adore her.
Okay.
And anyway, so I've been doing a lot of work lately with these 7 different goddesses with different women. That's been
Okay.
really
Yeah.
fabulous. But what's really exciting, she wrote a new book called "Moving Toward the Millionth Circle." This is by Jean
Oh,
Snowden.
I
Moving
heard
toward
you
the
mention this in a podcast I was listening that you were doing with
yes.
somebody else.
So this is so exciting to me. So people probably know about the 100th monkey syndrome, where, I don't know if we want to get in the whole story of that, but it's basically it's an anthropological study, and it's been proven to show that when a group of monkeys did this, but we'll call it humans for us, get together and they start doing something, and they keep doing it consistently and doing it clearly and with passion and intent and purpose, what ends up happening is it grows exponentially. So,
Absolutely.
so she's talking about that what we need on the planet right now is to have these circles that women everywhere, the indigenous cultures always came together in circle,
Mhm.
and circle has just been, there's everybody's equal. I mean, there's just so many wonderful things about that, but women have gone into circle for years and years and years.
Oh, absolutely. Even something as simple as think of quilting bees over the years.
Right.
That is a woman's
Right.
circle, right? Like it doesn't always
Absolutely.
have to be the mystical side. Like you and
Right.
I both love that side of things.
Yeah.
And many women in our community do, but just literally coming together where there is that pouring in. It's not, there's no sparring, there's no angst. It's coming together with the intention of delighting in each other's energy and supporting
Right.
each other, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah, so I love this. So is it called the
No,
millionth
it's called the Millionth Circle. It's a very
millionth
short little
circle?
book, but
Okay.
basically what Jean has put out, and I just love this, is that anytime that women come together in circle with this intention to love and to heal, and no matter what, like you said, it could be a book club or whatever, but
Mhm.
what I'm interested in is the deeper side of the transformative work, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Women coming together, the more you come together in that format and people start doing it all over the world, she says when a million circles have happened, then that's when the tipping point's gonna occur.
Nice. Nice.
So you can even write to her and tell her that you're doing circles or whatever. It's
Awesome.
very cool. But
I should do that because Fab at 50, our Fab Soul Circle,
yes,
we meet every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
right. So you are doing it. You are doing that work, and so are so many of your listeners. And
Mm,
it's nothing new, really. It's just being consciously
conscious.
aware
Love
that
that. Bringing it to the
this
conscious.
is that this makes a difference. It's like a little drop of ink in a pool of water. It goes in and it goes
Mhm.
out and it goes out and it goes out. I think that's even on her, looks like a maybe something like that on her book. But anyway, so these circles, they keep happening and happening. And what's going on is women are waking up. They're
Mm.
waking up to their full potential. They're realizing that 50 is the new 30, 60 is the new 40, 70 is the new 50, or even whatever. And so that energy, that
Yeah.
energy is going out, and it is healing the planet. And
Oh,
we need to
love
do
that.
this. We
Love that.
need to do this. And she believes when a million circles have happened, like the monkey syndrome, that will be the world will have felt blessed
Mhm.
by this amazing energy,
Love
and
that.
the love will start to help recenter everything. People talk about the patriarchy, and I'm not against men, and I don't have any, it's not
Yeah,
about
we
that.
love
But
men,
yeah, we love
but
our
it's out
men,
of
right?
balance even for men.
Yeah, it's for the women, the children, the animals, the men. It's for all peoples and all animals, and for the earth itself, that this healing
Lovely.
has to happen.
Amazing.
So what an exciting thing to be part of. I
I
mean,
know. I think I love that you're doing this and I can just feel the energy radiate off you. So, because I want to make sure we have enough time. We have about 10 minutes left of all
okay.
of the stuff we want to talk about. So, you have a transformational retreat coming up.
Uh-huh.
Correct?
Yes. Yeah, I
Share a
do.
little bit about that.
Okay. It is January 13th through the 20th. It's a
Okay.
great time to escape from the cold and get to someplace warm and
Yes,
sunny. This is
especially
in
for us
Mexico.
Canadians.
Yes, you Canadians. This is in Mexico. It is in a little place called Turcones, which
Hmm.
is on the Pacific side. You fly into Zihuatanejo, which is ZIH.
Yeah,
And it's a lovely little town, very healing. And it's a little bit quieter than most Mexican villages.
it's
And
lovely. I've been there years
and
ago.
so I've been there like 8 times. It's my happy
Oh,
place now, Mexico.
amazing.
And
Amazing.
yeah, it's really lovely. And so the retreat is called Igniting Your Divine Feminine Heart.
Oh, I love that. What a
Eh,
beautiful title. You come
Yeah.
up with the best names for retreats, right? Like I know a while ago, yeah, like that Bliss
Yeah.
by the Sea or Bury Your
Yeah.
Way in the Sand. And now say this retreat again. What's the name again?
Igniting Your Divine Feminine Heart.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. And
Amazing.
so how Circle gets into this, I mean,
Yeah.
yes, we'll do yoga, we'll do walking on the beach, we'll have beautiful meals, we'll have all kinds of different things that we'll be doing. We'll be doing indigenous ceremonies,
Mm,
cacao ceremonies, all kinds of different things. It's geared to give you personal time for yourself,
mhm.
and then time within the groups, and then time for
I
lots of cultural exploration.
I really appreciate that. And I want to say that I've been on some retreats where I found that
Mhm.
it was not relaxing at all. It was like you had something right after and this and that. And even when you had the little bit of break time, you're maybe in the pool or doing something, but it's like there was never a long enough break to just reflect and do your own journaling. So
Mhm.
I just want to say that I really love the way you pace a retreat
Yeah.
out. And
Yeah.
so you have that going on, which is wonderful. But I also know that you do some really
Got to
cool.
say one more thing though,
Oh,
real quick.
yeah, absolutely. About the retreat.
It's
Yeah.
about, well, it's about the circle. So
Oh,
the
yes.
the healing part of this retreat, like different from our Bliss by the Sea,
Yes.
we'll be meeting twice a day, one
Mm,
in the late morning and one in the late afternoon, together as women. And that's when we're going to do sort of the deep dive
nice.
into becoming all that we were meant to be, like letting go
Mhm.
of the veil of whatever has kept us tamped down. We're going to work together to really release all of this stuff and start to really just imagine just stepping into your own divine feminine, just with
Amazing.
freely feeling freed up to be who you are. And we'll be doing that work. So we'll be doing 2 circles a day. That's what
Oh,
I want to say.
fantastic. Yeah. Oh, no,
Okay.
that's beautiful. And I was going to say that you do some really cool sort of circle work. And you and I got talking a bit about this earlier. And I'm wondering
Hmm.
if you can share, because it's going to segue into a little gift that
Oh,
you're
that's right. Okay.
willing to offer,
Yep.
is
Yeah.
you do kind of a cool reading, a little ritual around I don't want to say it
Okay.
wrong.
I
You
can share it.
describe it
Yeah.
and then share what you're offering that
Oh,
you
okay.
I think it's very generous what you're offering for the first 5 women
Right.
that take advantage of it. And if
Okay.
you want to reach you, if people look in the show notes, but the best way to reach you probably is just send a direct email. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what's your email?
It's very simple. It's Sondra at sondrajoyce.com. And Sondra is with an O, Sondra.
Perfect.
Joyce, just like a first name, Sondra at sondrajoyce.com.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Share a little bit about what you do when you do one-on-one, but you also share this as a party. I think this is a great idea. I love it.
Okay. Well, so, you know, so we could do a celebration for many things, but I'm going to give the example of it's your birthday, Joanne. And so
Okay.
it's your
Well, in
birthday.
February, my birthday's in
Okay.
February.
And, maybe you get all your girlfriends together and you go have lunch or you go have a
Yeah.
glass of wine or, do foot massages or, whatever you decide to do, go out to dinner, go dancing, whatever. Because people want to celebrate you, right? They want to
Yeah.
celebrate you. And so, but I'm noticing as women are getting older too, a lot of times on our day of birth, it can be about giving to the people that we love rather than
Mhm.
having them give to us. It can be an opportunity to give. So what I've been doing lately, which I think is really fun, is I can take some information. Of course, it's confidential between me and the person, but just gets a little bit of information. I pull from numerology and astrology and a couple of other sources that I have from different tests and just different things that I've used over the years. And then I come up with sort of what your divine feminine essence for this coming year is going to be.
Nice.
It's like a reading. It does take
Yeah.
a bit of time though, to prepare because I have to look all this stuff up and create it. But
Yeah.
then what I've been doing is giving that to, like, say, I would give that to you, and you could say, well, I'm going to do a personal ritual circle. And if you could do it in person, that would be great. But even if you did it on Zoom, with different people, like maybe you have relatives and you want people to come and hear what is going to be your next step and support you in it, which is so cool. And then
Mm.
what we do is we take just a few minutes and I do a little bit of work with each person that's there. So they have a gift for coming. And so so
Cool.
it could be any of those combinations. I could do this one-on-one with you. You could decide to have a circle and share it with other people. And if we did something like Zoom or something like that, then I could also touch in with each person who's there and offer them something based on the same thing.
That's a cool
So
idea.
yeah,
I love it. I
yeah,
love
it's a
it
very
because
different
we want to
way.
get creative, because so often when people want to work, say with you, but if they're not in the position to fly to you or be at your retreat, they can still, there's so much work we can do online. Like, really,
Right.
technology, when it's used well, can be our
Yeah.
friend. When it's not
Absolutely.
working, and I'm just having to laugh because every once in a while we have a little technical issue.
Yeah,
We had
that's
a
for
little
sure.
technical issue earlier, but I really love that. So, if just to confirm, the first 5 women that reach out to you, sending a direct email saying, I'd love to take up the opportunity, the offer of having my own personal reading. And they mentioned that they heard us talk on the Fab at 50 podcast, then
Hmm.
you'll take it from there and arrange that. And that's a very generous offer, because it's not just like, here's a little page, download your 3 tips too. This is something you are truly giving of your heart and your essence. So I love that. And
Yeah.
Sandra, we're getting close to the top of the hour for winding up our conversation, but I'm wondering if to wind things up, I know you're so full of wisdom. What would be three things, kind of pearls of wisdom you would share with the listening audience?
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Very interesting. Okay, we did not prep for this, but that's all right.
Not this particular question.
Yeah, no,
But
I think, every day, speaking, what is it that you're wishing to create? I call it my manifestation mantra every day.
mhm,
But I think giving voice to what is important and what it is that you're wanting to create so that you have some direction. I think
mhm,
of Artemis, the goddess Artemis, with her arrow, and she's marking it. And I think that though I love this time of life, I also feel it's shortened. So
mhm.
make every moment count. So
Awesome.
in making every moment count, that would be the one of the main things that one could do would be to read something or write something every single day, even if it only is for 30 seconds, about what it is that you're
Amazing.
really wanting to manifest now in great juicy words.
Awesome. That sounded
So
like three things right
yeah,
there.
that's probably good. That's probably good.
That's
But
it.
more,
So
but I'd be
have
happy
it.
to talk to people about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So I
you
just
know.
know that you have really, if I pull from our conversation, what I really heard was be a lifelong learner.
Hmm.
Maybe find your sparks in life.
Yeah, good
Have that manifesting
mantra.
mindset in the morning, that manifesting mantra to really take action on what do you want to create today?
Right.
What do you want to have in your life today? So
Yeah.
those are the things that I think I've really pulled out of our conversation. And the overarching one is that I, I don't always like the term it's never too late, but I was just going to say we can forever be stepping into a greater feminine power and essence, I believe.
Absolutely.
Maybe that's a good
Absolutely.
way of putting it,
We can.
because that's what
And
I see with you doing all the time, and I admire and respect that.
right. And I would like to say that, I haven't really marketed this seminar out there a lot because it's an intimate time. But I feel if anybody's heard this, we'll have an intimacy between us. So I'm not just gathering anybody to come, but if you're one of my sparks and I'm one of your sparks and you feel
Mhm.
sparked,
Let's spark together.
yeah, if somebody feels really, really compelled to
Mhm.
come to igniting your divine feminine heart, please email me at
Absolutely.
Sondra@sondrajoyce.com and let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
If you're supposed to be there, we'll find a way to make it happen. You know,
Amazing. Beautiful.
I'm offering, again, tell say Fab at 50 when you email me or whatever, but I'm offering a discount right now,
Oh, that's so
just
generous.
for the next until, let's see, what's the date? Okay, we've only got about
It's
5 days.
like the beginning of December. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So very soon. But the women that are coming are fabulous, but we could use a few more. I mean,
Yeah.
it would round things out beautifully, and it's
Oh,
fine as
amazing.
is. But if you feel it in your heart, then please follow that.
I love it. I
Get
love
in
it.
touch with me.
Sandra, this has been such a joy to capture our conversation, and I know we will continue to have many more. And I so appreciate and respect what you're doing in this world and helping women step into
Mm,
that divine feminine and 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 set their spark. Sometimes they don't even know that they have that spark yet. So I
right.
love what you're doing. I'm excited to always hear that there's something new and evolving, and I look forward to future conversations, and we'll get you back on the
Mm.
show sometime.
Oh, Joanne, thank you so much. You are such a dear friend and such a goddess and such a beautiful spark in the world. Keep sparking.
Thank you. I so appreciate that.
Bye
Take care,
bye.
everyone. We'll
Take
catch you
care.
next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. But before you leave, I'm curious. What pearl of wisdom are you taking away from today's episode? I do hope it held some inspiration or information for you to live your best life. If you are not yet part of our sisterhood, I invite you to join our community by visiting our website, fabulousat50.com, and you'll receive a free copy of our ebook, Make Mine Fabulous, 21 Ways to Energize Your Life. It is packed with loads of tips and tricks. Plus, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to this podcast and leave us a review to let us know what you think. Remember, keep choosing fabulous. It's never too late to live the life you deserve. Catch you on the next episode.